The royal family's lives might be public, but somehow they have always managed to maintain at least a bit of mystery. Here are 13 mysteries of the royal family that will shock you. 13. The divorce of Prince Andrew, Duke of York and Sarah. The Duke and Duchess of York divorced officially back in 1996, but apparently they still live together to this day. Their relationship has been deemed strange even to their family and friends. 12. Is Prince Charles the real father of Prince Harry? James Hewitt was Diana's riding instructor. She confessed to having an affair with him in 1995. Many have wondered if Harry is James Hewitt's son. Others say the relationship between Diana and Hewitt started shortly after Harry's birth. We wish a paternity test was done to put an end to this rumor, but no one will order it. 11. King George V murdered. King George died on the 29th of January 1936 after suffering from an illness for a decade. Later on, it was discovered that the king died due to an overdose of morphine and cocaine administered to him by his doctor, Lord Dawson. Many believe the king was murdered by his doctor. 10. The Curse of Alice, Queen Victoria's daughter. Many bad things happened to Alice that made people think she was cursed. This was after a series of bad things that happened to her and the generation after her. Her 2-year-old son died in 1873 after falling from Alice's second-story bedroom. He died from brain hemorrhage as he was hemophilic. In 1878, Alice's household was struck with diphtheria, killing Alice's 5-year-old daughter, Marie, and then Alice herself, who died on her father's death anniversary. In 1904, Alex, who was Alice's daughter, married into Russia's Romanov dynasty and also had a son who was hemophilic. In 1918, Alex and her sister Elizabeth were murdered by the Bolshevists. Many other things happened to her family later on. 9. The death of Queen Victoria's grandson. Victoria's grandson, Prince Alfred, died on February 6, 1899. News spread that he had died of a tumor, but there was strong evidence showing he committed suicide by shooting himself with a revolver. The young prince was known to have had an emotionally challenging childhood. 8. Was Jack the Ripper from the royal family? Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson, will go down in history as someone people believed was Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper was a serial killer who killed at least 5 women in London in 1888 and was never caught. Many believe Albert was Jack the Ripper due to his mysterious life. He died in 1892 from influenza, but some believe he died of syphilis and that the murders were a manifestation of syphilitic insanity. 7. Queen Victoria's secret second husband. After the Queen's husband, Prince Albert, died in 1861, Queen Victoria went into a 2-year royal mourning period. It is believed that in 1863 she started a relationship with her servant John Brown, which lasted for 20 years when John Brown died at 56. The public referred to the Queen as Mrs. Brown, and her children would call John Mama's lover. Victoria gifted John a house and had gushing stories about him in her diary. Her final wishes had her buried with mementos of both Albert and John. 6. Did Princess Louise have children? Princess Louise was Queen Victoria's 5th child. At the age of 18, she may have given birth to a son sired by her brother's tutor. What is known is that the royal obstetrician's son randomly adopted an unknown newborn and named him Henry. He then told his children the son belonged to Princess Louise. Henry's descendants tried to do a DNA test in 2004, but were denied to be given Henry's DNA. Princess Louise's files are closed to the public, unlike those of her siblings, so no one will ever find out about Princess Louise and Henry. 5. What really killed Prince Albert? Prince Albert was Queen Victoria's husband. He died at age 42 in December 1861. Many believe he died of typhus, but there's still a lot of stories about him suffering from undiagnosed cancer of the colon, and others believe he might have died of sepsis caused by Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. These causes are hypothesized because of Prince Albert's long digestive system-related complaints. Queen Victoria forbade an autopsy, so the actual cause of his death will never be known. 4. Queen Victoria's uncle murdered his valet. Queen Victoria's father's brother, Prince Ernest Augustus, the Duke of Cumberland, is believed to have murdered his valet. In May 1810, his valet Joseph Sellis was found in the quarters of the Duke's house with his throat cut open. The conclusion was that the valet committed suicide, but many believe it was the Duke who slit his valet's throat, either out of anger, romantic jealousy, or self-defense. 3. Is the royal family descended from royal blood? Queen Elizabeth II was the great-granddaughter of Queen Victoria, who was the daughter of King George III's fourth son, Edward, the Duke of Kent. There have been questions about Queen Victoria's royal lineage right from her birth. Many believe her father wasn't Edward, but rather a friend of Victoria's mother. This rumor is propagated onto reasons related to genetically inherited medical conditions. Victoria was the first of the royal family to have children with hemophilia, which was never experienced before in the royal family. The other reason is King George was the last member to have had porphyria. No other member was diagnosed after him, which is weird seeing that it passes in families. 2. Was Queen Elizabeth the first to murder? Amy Robsart was found dead at the bottom of a staircase in 1560. Queen Elizabeth I was thought to have been in love with Amy's husband and that she ordered the murder of Amy. Some believe Amy was just suicidal or that she had cancer that had spread to her bones, which made her more likely to injure herself. 1. The disappearance of King Edward V and his brother. In 1483, King Edward IV died, and his eldest son, King Edward V, age 12, ascended the throne with his uncle, his father's brother, the Duke of Gloucester, as protector of the realm. But soon after the ascension, the Duke sent young Edward and his youngest brother Richard, age 10, to the Tower of London for their own protection. In June, the Duke declared himself King Richard III, and the brothers were never seen again. 2 skeletons were later found in the tower. It is believed that these skeletons were the brothers, and Richard III might have murdered his nephews. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.